children, let us start the chapter election and representation. So before starting the chapter, we must know what is election. So first of all, the election is done by the people, as India is a democratic country. So in India, the people, they elect their leaders. How do they elect their leaders? They elect their leaders through the elections. Like whoever is 18 years and above, they have a right to vote, and it is their fundamental right. Fundamental right to vote is given by our Indian constitution. So then, why election? Election is a requirement in the democratic country, as India is a democratic country. In India, it is to the people, for the people, and by the people. So, the through the elections, each and every citizen of the country, they can directly involve into the democratic. They can directly give their views. Like how do they give their views? Like every party has a different ideology for the progress of the country. So whichever leader, whichever party they want to support, they can give their votes to them. So now, what is direct democracy? Now, direct democracy means where the citizens, they can directly participate in the functioning of the government. For example, at the root level, if we talk about the panchayati level in the villages, where they elect their panch and sarpanch, so they can directly, they are electing their leaders, they are directly electing their sarpanch. So this is called the direct democracy, where the people, they can directly participate in the functioning of the government. Then, what is indirect democracy? See, direct democracy is impossible in large countries with huge population. If we talk about India, our population is 130 this thing million. So is it possible? Do you think is it possible to conduct direct democracy? Absolutely no. So for the countries where we have a huge population, where we have to go for the indirect democracy. So indirect democracy means what it is, the governed by the elective representative of people. For example, whoever is MLA and MP, they will be proceeding further for the higher level of the voting, and that is called the indirect democracy. So here role of the citizen is reduced, whereas in direct democracy, where they are electing their panch and sarpanch, there they are directly electing. But as and when the position goes high, the powers goes high, then there is a indirect democracy. So now, what is election system in India? So in election system in India, India follows two different election method. The first method is first past the post system, and the second method is proportional representation. Now, what is first past the post system and proportional representation? In first past the post system, it is followed for the elections of Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly, and Local Assembly. So through first part of FPTP means first past the post system is followed for the election for the Lok Sabha election, state legislative, and local bodies. So now how this first past the post system means, the it is there for the uh, first past the post system. It is there for the, like, people, if they have to elect through the Lok Sabha member, will be going from the first past the post system. If we have to go for the legislative assembly, will be going following the method first past the post system. Now we'll be discussing about what is Election Commission of India. So now, what is Election Commission of India? To organize the election, to have the election, like how, whether we have to go for FPTP, whether we have to go for the proportional representation, how will be going about it, when will be the election, what will be the campaigning method. So to conduct all these things, there is a one body, and the name of the body is Election Commission of India, and this body was formed on 25th January 1950. Now, why this body was formed? To supervise and conduct elections. So now, in Election Commission of India, there is one chief election commissioner. Like in India, we have a president. If we talk about the Supreme Court, there is a Chief Justice of India. So there also, for election commission, we have a chief electoral officer in every state and the chief election commissioner of India. So now the first chief election commissioner of India was Sukumar Sen, and he was an Indian civil servant. But there is a multi-member body consists of a chief election and commissioner and two election commissioners. So and one chief electoral officer is there in each and every state, and above that there is a chief election commissioner of India. So now, how this chief election commission of India is appointed by the president of India. Like how president appoint the chief election commission of India? The president appoint the chief election commission of India with the advice of council of minister. Whichever candidate they refer, the president appoint the chief election commission of India, and he is appointed for term of 6 years or till 65, whichever is earlier. So now, the chief election commission of India, he can be removed by the president if the parliament recommend with the special majority, like he is having some allegation on him. And once again I am repeating, he is appointed for either for 6 years or till the age of 65, whichever is earlier. So now, what is the major functions of so now what is the major functions of the election commission? What are all the works of the election commission? The first and foremost function, it prepares and up to date the voter list. Now, how to prepare the voter list? If you know, at the time of election, either there are few points where you can go and give your Aadhaar card, your age, identity and all, and you will get your vote. And another side, sometimes the party people, they come to your doorstep also to get your all detail and ensure that you are there in their voter list. So who is organizing this thing? This work is organized by the election commission. Then second, it determines the times of election and the prepare the election schedule, like when will be the election, which date, from which nomination can be filed. उसके बाद last date for filing nomination, like who will be contesting the elections. Then last date of scrutiny, then there is a scrutiny whether this person is valid or not. Then last date of withdrawal, and then finally date of polling, when will be the date, what will be the polling point, how many candidates are there, how many staff we need to organize, and then security and all these things. And then the at last, when will be the counting for the votes, and then declaration of the result. Then Election Commission has a power to take decision to ensure a free and fair poll. Like it should be free and fair, there should not be any partiality, there should not be any illegal campaigning, there should not be any illegal things. And then if he finds something like that, he can postpone the elections, or even he can cancel the elections as well. Then he implements a code of conduct for the parties and candidates, like before 2 days they'll stop campaigning. If they are going for campaigning, there should be discipline, there should not be any violence, they should not cross the limits of the jurisdiction. So all these things are done by the election commission only. Then he can order a repoll in the specific constituency and recount the votes also if he finds something is not going properly. Then election commission accords recognition to the political parties and allots symbol to each of them. Then election commission, like suppose if Congress is having symbol of hand, BJP is having symbol of this thing lotus, and then if Aam Aadmi Party is having a symbol of the jhadu. So all these things are recognized by the political parties and allotted the symbols to them. This is also a work of the election commission. Then reservation of the constituency. Now what is reservation of the constituencies? It gives equality to all. Basically it is there to ensure the representation from each and every constituency for all the social groups, including the socially disadvantages section. It is there for all, whether it is rich, whether it is poor, whether it is boy, whether it is girl. There is no discrimination based on any caste, creed, religion, and sex. So this is there in reservation of constituencies. Now what is separate electorates? Now separate electorates, it has been introduced by British government, electing a representative for a particular community, and only those voters would be eligible who belong to that community. This is there in the separate electorate. Now in reserved constituency, the Constitution Assembly adopted the idea of reserved constituency, means all the voters who belong to that constituency are eligible to vote, but the candidate must belong to a particular community or social section or which the seat is reserved for. For example, the reserved constituency, if from one place the people they have right to vote, they can vote, but if they comes under reserve constituency, then it is mandatory for them to belong to that constituency. Then how the president can remove the election commission? Basically he is appointed by President of India, and he draws the boundaries of the constituency, and he draws to decide the reserved constituency. Delimitation commission appointed by President of India, and for drawing and bounding the constituencies to decide the reserved constituency. So now ST constituency, which is highest ST population, again the SC reservation, higher proportion of SC reservation, it spreads in different regions of the states. What is Delimitation Commission? It is appointed by the President of India for drawing the boundaries of the constituency and to decide the reserved constituencies. And then constituency with highest ST reservation, higher proportion of SC population, and spreads in different regions of the states, and that is called the Delimitation Commission. Now again there is a reservation for the women as well. Then 50% of the local bodies are reserved for women, even in the panchayati level. amendment to ensure women reservation in parliament and state legislative assembly has not yet been passed, but now it is there. So now, what is universal adult franchise? As you have read in class 10th as well, all the adult citizen of the country, whoever is age is 18 year and above, are eligible to vote. So now this principle is based on the principle of equality and non-discrimination. So actually till 1989 the universal adult franchise right was above the age of 21, but now after 1989 voting right above the age of 18. This is called the universal adult franchise. So now, what is electoral reforms? See, what is electoral reforms? We are all doing wonderful job. Yes, we are doing, but what the suggestions? How can we improve it? What are all the suggestions? So this is there in electoral reforms. Under electoral reforms, see, election system is going on well, but there is always scope in each and every field. How can we do it better? How it will be better? So that comes under electoral reforms. So what is electoral reforms? Basically, electoral system should be changed from some variant to proportional system. Then there should be a reservation for the women's. Then, as you know, at the time of elections, the people they give donations in the name of money. They give so many things. Sometimes they give dresses, even the liquor also. That should be strictly prohibited. And then the candidate, if anybody is having the criminal background, they should not be allowed to contest election. They should be banned from the elections. Then there should not be a use of caste and in religious. There should not be any discrimination based on caste, religion, and sex. And then the political parties, whoever is contesting, they should be very, very transparent. They should not be biased. But still, though it is not possible, but then also it should be transparent and democratic. Then what is the success of Indian electoral system? What are all the positive of Indian electoral system? See, first is the voters, they are able to select, they are able to involve in democracy, they are directly involved in the democracy, and they are indirectly also involved in the democracy. They can choose their own leaders, they can choose their own favorite candidate. Then the participation in India, it is a very good ratio who participate in the electoral system. Then the representative come from the different sections of the community also. That is also good, because then electoral malpractice are not common, because if somebody is doing also, they are not doing this thing openly, then there should be there is a regularity, means after 5 years elections are done and as per their duration and the periodicity of the election. So election system is successful in India.